You can be smart, well-educated, and even successful. But if you don't understand the 7 psychological secrets of women and love, you'll keep being the nice guy they forget. What I'm about to reveal isn't part of the usual advice you hear out there. These are hidden emotional patterns that shape female desire, and most men simply overlook them. But starting today, that changes. And the last secret will challenge everything you thought you knew about attraction. First secret, women fall in love with those who make them fall in love with themselves. Have you ever noticed how some women seem completely enchanted by certain men who, in your eyes, aren't anything special? They're not the most handsome, not the richest, but there's something about them. Something in the way they make a woman feel. And that's the secret. Women don't just fall in love with you, they fall in love with the version of themselves they become when they're with you. If a woman feels more confident, more appreciated, more feminine around you, guess what? You start to hold a very special place in her heart. It's not about impressing her with achievements or trying to be the perfect guy. It's about being the man who brings out her best self. The one who, with a glance, a comment, or a strong presence, reminds her of her own worth. For example, instead of just complimenting her looks like everyone else does, how about highlighting something she's proud of? I admire how passionately you talk about your work, or your focus really inspires me. That makes her think, wow, he sees beyond the surface. And that kind of validation, genuine and rare, creates an emotional connection that most men never achieve. So if you want to be unforgettable, stop trying to prove your worth. Start activating hers. Be the guy who makes her feel smart, desired, safe, and real. Because at the end of the day, what truly wins us over is the man who helps us love who we are when we're with him. Second secret. Women value the attention. You withdraw more than the attention you give too easily. There's a subtle trap that many men fall into without realizing it, giving too much attention too soon. The intention might seem good, replying quickly, constantly complimenting, always being available. But psychologically, this has the opposite effect. When everything is handed over too easily, it loses value. The mystery disappears. And with it, so does the interest. The female brain reacts more intensely to what's only partially accessible. The attention of the most magnetic men never comes in a predictable way. It shows up at unexpected but meaningful moments. Like a good night message after a whole day of silence, or a perfectly timed comment after days of focusing on your own routine. It's not about absence, it's about balance. Now let me ask you, do you maintain a healthy space between interest and availability? Or do you give it all away right from the start? Leave a comment below. I'm curious to know how you handle this subtle game. Other men will relate to your experiences, and who knows, maybe even learn from them. If you want to be remembered, it's not about being constantly available. It's about creating contrast. Offer attention that feels meaningful, not wasted. Be the man who knows the right moment to be present and the right moment to step back. This isn't playing games, it's sparking curiosity. And when you master that, she's the one who starts chasing you, not the other way around. Third secret, emotion beats logic. Always. Men often try to solve everything with rational arguments. They want to show they're stable, consistent, secure. But when it comes to love, that's not what keeps a woman interested. What truly connects us are the emotions you spark, not the facts you present. Logic might convince, but emotion is what captivates. A conversation that makes us laugh, a silence that gets us thinking, a random memory that warms the heart. These are the emotional triggers that make a woman feel like something special is happening. It's like when a man shares a childhood memory and invites us emotionally into his world. That draws us in a way spreadsheets and life goals never will. Want a simple example? Instead of just saying what you do for a living, talk about why you do it. Instead of saying you traveled somewhere amazing, talk about how it felt to be there, what the moment meant to you. When you speak with emotion, you activate something instinctive in us: empathy, connection, and identification. That's what makes a conversation unforgettable. If you want to truly impact a woman, stop trying to impress her with facts. Touch the places no one else does, her heart. Because even the most rational women, deep down, make their most important decisions, including who to love, with a racing heart, not a calculating mind. Fourth secret: female desire grows in the absence of total control. Men tend to seek clarity. They want to define where they stand, label what's going on, figure out whether they're dating or just seeing each other. But the feminine world doesn't work with that kind of emotional rigidity. Desire needs space. It needs to breathe. Mystery and fluidity are essential ingredients for interest to grow. When a man tries to speed things up and take total control, he kills the creative tension that attracts us. There's something magical about the ambiguity of early interactions. It's in that stage that imagination runs wild. She starts to wonder what you feel, what you want, if you're into her. And it's exactly that uncertainty that hooks her. It's like watching a gripping TV show. You only keep watching because you don't know what's coming next. If you give away the ending in episode 3, she loses interest. A man who doesn't rush, who lets the relationship unfold naturally without smothering it with pressure or labels, shows emotional intelligence, and that's way more attractive than neediness disguised as intentions. Don't be afraid to leave questions unanswered. Let her miss you before you reply. Don't reveal everything at once. Sometimes it's not about saying more. It's about saying just enough and letting the rest live in her imagination. Because it's in the space you don't fill that desire begins to grow. Fifth secret: her subconscious responds more to body. Language than to words. What you say matters, but what your body communicates without saying a word matters even more. Most men still underestimate the power of body language, but our brains are constantly picking up nonverbal signals. And women are especially sensitive to them. A woman feels first, interprets later. And often, she's already decided whether she'll give you a chance before you even open your mouth. Picture a guy who shows up tense, looking around nervously, with a shaky voice and restless hands. Now compare him to a man who walks in slowly, makes calm eye contact, keeps his shoulders relaxed, and breathes deeply. Without saying a word, the second guy already gives off something magnetic: presence. It's as if he's saying, "I'm in control of myself," without needing to prove anything, and that quiet control is incredibly seductive. You can have the best conversation skills in the world, but if your posture screams anxiety, she'll pick up on it. On the other hand, if your body language conveys calm, self-confidence, and self-mastery, that triggers a deep instinct of safety and attraction. It's almost like your body is saying, "He knows who he is." And to a woman, that's irresistible. So, next time you meet someone, forget the perfect script. Before thinking about what to say, think about how you're going to carry yourself, your tone of voice, how you take up space, how you listen without rushing. All of that speaks louder than 1,000 compliments. A man who has control over his body doesn't need to compete for attention. He naturally draws it in. Sixth secret: women test you without realizing it, and those who fail end up in the friend zone. You might have been through this. Everything seemed to be going well. She laughed at your jokes, accepted your invites, kept the conversation going. Then suddenly, the interest fades. You don't understand what went wrong. But let me tell you what probably happened. She tested you, and you didn't even notice. Yes, many of these tests are unconscious, but they're meant to measure your emotional strength. Sometimes it's a light tease. Other times it's a delay, sudden silence, or even a slightly sharp comment. And no, she's not doing this to be mean. It's instinctive. She wants to see how you react under pressure, whether you stay centered or lose your cool. These moments say way more about you than any words you could use to defend yourself. The problem is that many men take these moments as rejection. They overreact, try too hard to justify themselves, or pull away out of pride. And in doing that, they lose points. A woman doesn't want a robot who accepts everything in silence, but she also doesn't want a guy who gets thrown off by a little tension. She's watching how you handle the unexpected. And that quietly determines whether you'll be the desired man or just the nice friend. Want to avoid the friend zone? Learn to keep your composure. If she's sarcastic, smile calmly. If she takes a while to reply, don't change your energy. And when she tests your patience or firmness, just stay grounded in who you are. The man who passes these tests, even without knowing he's being tested, triggers the most powerful signal of all. This man has value. Seventh secret: real power is in validating and challenging at the same time. Men who only give compliments often come off as needy, and the ones who only tease can sound cold or arrogant. But there's a rare combination that few people master, and that deeply affects a woman's psychology: the ability to validate and challenge at the same time. This balance creates tension, curiosity, and respect, everything that keeps a woman emotionally engaged. Validation isn't flattery. It's recognizing what's genuinely interesting about her, without sounding impressed. And challenging doesn't mean putting her down. It means playful teasing, showing that you have standards, that you're not easily won over. An example? When she brags about her cooking, you smile and say, "I bet your risotto can't beat mine." Boom. She feels seen, but also intrigued. This kind of dynamic completely changes how a woman sees you. You stop being just another guy trying to please her and become a positive emotional challenge. That creates a cycle of attraction that's hard to break, because now she feels the need to keep impressing you, which, in itself, is highly seductive. Most men seek approval. The smarter ones, however, seek connection, with lightness and authority. When you master the art of praising with confidence and teasing with charm, you don't just stand out, you become unforgettable. And at that point, my friend, she's no longer analyzing you. She's trying to win you over. If this video opened your eyes to how women really think, just imagine what's coming next. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now, turn on notifications, and make sure you never miss content like this again. And hey, the next video is already on the screen. Click now and keep going with me.